You know, a few months ago, a subscriber asked me, what is your personal opinion of self-defense? You're going to hear it today. Okay gang, welcome to the Hideout, and we're going to try something different today that is a request. But before we get started, let me thank everybody who has subscribed. If you have not subscribed, you're missing the big show. You need to click subscribe, click ringy dingy so you get notifications, and check it out at SGT1911.com. Now, just seconds ago, you guys took a picture and see my body armor. I'm just having fun. I'm poking fun, but I'm not poking fun. I'm going to try to do something here that I find difficult because I just don't sometimes do a good job. You guys know, no notes up on the sleeve, there's no notes anywhere. I'm just going to shoot you straight. Now, a few months ago, a subscriber asked me what my personal opinion was of self-defense. Haven't done it, pushed it off, thought about it, talked about it with Mrs. Sergeant 1911. You know, there's a lot of snow and ice outside. I really don't feel like shooting in it, so we're going to do it today. So it's difficult to explain my thoughts and opinions, and I'm really hoping I can get this across to you. And if I screw it up, my apologies, but I think some of you'll get it, okay? I'm not poking fun at anybody about their body armor, but the truth is, I don't wear body armor. I'm not going to spend money on body armor. Self-defense, I mean, you boys won't go out and play soldier on the weekend. That's fine. Been there, done that. You know, I'm not going to spend my money on body armor. I'm not going to wear shit to the mall, right? No, not going to happen. Where am I going to be attacked? At the bar. If I wear body armor in the bar, I'm going to be the first person attacked. So, you know, hell, we ain't doing that shit, okay? So let's get on with the story here. I'm going to start like we're Billy and Bob on the school ground fighting over Mary Jane at school. You know, us fellas, we get into fights, girls do it too. We get into fights, and the way it works, you know, I'm going to poke you in the nose. You got to poke me twice. And if I'm going to win this fight, now I've got to either poke you harder or I got to poke you 3 times. I'm going to bust your nose, and you're going to bust my nose, and it's going to escalate until finally somebody cries, and unfortunately, that's where Mary Jane goes instead of the winner of the fight. So, anyway, let's grow up and let's become men now. And when men fight, real men, there's a difference between a redneck fight and a man fight, in my opinion. When men fight, they're brutal, they're nasty, they're savage, they're uncivilized, they're terrible. For you guys who have been in one, you'll know what I'm talking about. For you guys who have not been in one, you need to make sure your ass don't get in one. You know, the way it works is the same way back it did when the 2 boys fighting over Mary Jane. Now the 2 boys might still be fighting over the same Mary Jane, I don't know. But the thing is, it starts with 1 punch. This guy's got to give you 2 punches, this one's got to give you 3 punches, this one's got to give you 4 punches until it escalates. Somebody's going to win, or somebody thinks they're going to win. And you can imagine it's happening out in, follow me here, it's happening out in the park, you know, Walmart parking lot over a parking spot or something, who knows. And the next thing you know, somebody picks up a stick, then somebody picks up a rock, and then somebody pulls a knife, and now it's a gun. And what back in elementary school was a bloody nose is now a deadly confrontation that is extremely brutal, savage, nasty, bloody, whatever. And then the end result is everybody lost. The winner of the fight has inflicted enough damage, possibly death, to his opponent. Mary Jane, still the same Mary Jane, but now she's witnessed these things. It's forever scarred her mind, and that's where we are. So how do we defend some of these things? Let's move into how we defend it with a handgun, because I'm Sergeant 1911, and I'm just going to make the assumption this fellow was asking about what's my thoughts on self-defense with a handgun. And I can cut to the chase, and I will, but then I'll come back and try to make some examples, explain myself. Personally, my personal opinion about self-defense with a handgun is not. I don't have a personal self-defense opinion. The reason being is I do not have a defense opinion. I have an offense opinion. You know, General Patton said, I'll put it up to the end of the video in case I've got it wrong. Patton said, you can never win anything by defending it. And he kind of makes a point in my mind. Once I've been attacked, now I can defend something. But I've already been attacked, so I'm already under the log, kind of. You know, somebody's got the upper hand on me before it begins. So how do I defend that? I'm already 2 steps behind, and my opinion is I don't never intend to get 2 steps behind. I always want to be 2 steps ahead. So do I have my thoughts on defense is offense? I'm gonna give you some examples here and try to explain it. You know, I see guys on television, and I would like to attend some of these, even though I disagree with them. And you know, I'm probably gonna get slammed on some of these things. That's okay. That's okay. This is my opinion. You're getting, you know, give me yours. I'm giving you mine respectfully. You give me yours respectfully. If I can see it coming, avoid it. If I go to the restaurant with Mrs. SGT1911, we've been married long enough, she knows where I want to sit and where she sits. And why do I sit there? Some people call it situational awareness. Some people call it paranoid. I call it being prepared. I want to sit where I can see, where I can observe, where I can watch what's going on, where I can hear things. You know, when you guys travel and do different things, you're always looking around and seeing things and hearing things, smelling things, you know, and you want to be aware of your situation. That's about as much of the defense as I want to be on. My senses are aware of what's going on, so that once I see a threat, I can engage that threat, or preferably remove myself and anybody else from the threat before it ever happens. So I've alleviated the threat and it's gone. And you know, here's an example. If we were in a restaurant setting, say there's just 100 people in there, I seen a threat come in the door, I recognize it as a threat, I got a couple options. I can be a victim, or I can engage the threat. Or the perfect scenario, which is not going to happen, we can empty everybody out of the restaurant before the threat ever come in the door. We've removed that. We've completely removed the threat. Not going to happen. So what I've got to do is be prepared, so when I recognize that threat, I can engage that threat before it happens. Now, how do I do that? I can train. I can be prepared. And that's just about all I can do. Now, let me give you these examples. I'm driving in my truck down the country road here, and I'm driving at 30 miles an hour, and a nice deer runs out in the road. At 30 miles an hour, he's 50, 75 yards in front of me. I've got plenty of time to what? Stop, avoid the threat. I don't have to hit him, tear my truck up. Nice buck got away, but I don't have to tear my truck up. And I've disengaged. I'm done. But I'm looking down the road in front of me, in front of my vehicle, in front of where the situation or the event will take place. I've got 30 yards, 30 feet at 30 miles an hour. Now, everybody's done this. I don't care your age. If you're driving, you've done it. Don't lie to me. Like I said, you know, unless it's a GMC, you guys have driven 100 miles an hour. So let's just go down the road and say we're driving 100 miles an hour, and the buck runs out in front of us. We've got to be looking more than 30 yards down the road, hundreds of yards maybe down the road, in order for us to avoid this event. Now, this is the same thing I'm applying to my self-defense situation. Where are you? Are you out of your normal situation, your comfort zone? Are you in an area you don't know? Are you in an area that potentially has a higher risk of threat? you've got to adjust your senses to where you are and what's going on and what's taking place. If you are in a position or an atmosphere that you know is potentially at higher risk, then you need to slow down and be observant. If you're at home in your own home, then you can do 100 mile an hour and you don't have to be quite as observant because you've got more time or leeway or something in front of you to try to make the decision, process it, make the decision whether you need to engage it or not. Now, let's go back to the gunfight. A lot of fights happen real close. We're going to do another video on some shooting as soon as we get some weather. A lot of them are further down the way, just like my example with a car and stuff. But here's the deal with the gunfight. We're going to go back and apply this to Mary Jane on the schoolyard. If you are involved in the gunfight, you are going to win. If you train, if you're lucky. On the other hand, if you train and you're lucky and you win the gunfight, you're going to lose. You're going to lose every time. Your significant other, your spouse, your wife, your family, everybody else in the restaurant that we're giving an example of is going to lose because this is a very traumatic thing. Let's just say you were completely legal in defending yourself and your spouse in there, and you shot the bad guy, and the bad guy is now deceased over there. The police come, they charge you with nothing. You got to go home now and go to bed. Your wife comes in there and she got to go to bed. And the next morning you are going to wake up and have breakfast, and your lives have changed. Your lives have forever changed. The people in the restaurant that witnessed it their lives have forever changed. You will never be the same. Your wife will never be the same. None of the people in that restaurant will be the same. Everybody that participated, observed in any way will always be changed. And every one of those people will be losers. You're going to lose. So, when it gets down to defense, my opinions on self-defense, I'm not going to be a victim. If you can't defend yourself, you will be a victim. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is Teddy Roosevelt said, walk softly and carry a big stick. Here's my big stick, right here. I will whip your ass with it if I have to, but I don't want to have to do that. Now, self-defense, we only have a couple of options. We're going to lose if we engage. If we do it illegal, we're going to lose. If we do it legal, we're going to lose. What we don't want to do is engage. If we have to engage, then by all means, you need to become out ahead. But at the same time, you can't be on the defense. You have to be on the offense. Like Patton said, if I'm defending anything, I've already lost. Let's go back and talk about some rules of engagement real quick, and then we'll do it. I can't shoot at you until you've shot at me first. Now, what kind of BS is that? I can't defend myself until after you've already shot me in the freaking head. Okay, now how does that happen? It doesn't. Once I recognize you are a potential deadly threat, I become the aggressor and engage you before I become the victim. So throw a couple of words out there and you can say, I can be offensive, I can be defensive, I can be dead, I can be forever changed. Some of those things is just a whole bunch of words we have to mix up in a pot and hope we come out with the right thing. I don't know that I'm getting across the message that I'm trying to. The truth is, me and Mrs. Sergeant 1911 have done this video a couple times, and I'm really trying to explain that my opinion basically with self-defense is offense, period. Be prepared, not paranoid. Don't overdo it to where you engage an innocent person and suffer those consequences. Train. Be ready, observant, prepared, no defense, 100% offense, 100% of the time. If there's anything else that I can say to that, I don't know. Let's just if at all possible, always put your truck in reverse and go the other way and avoid it. Live to fight another day. If you can't do it, then you have to be offensive, in order to overcome. So any questions, shoot them over to me. Any comments, please keep them professional until we get to shoot together. Shoot again, shoot safe and shoot straight. Huh.